Hello and welcome to my office. These seminars are about strategy in the pharma, medtech and other life science businesses. And if that's relevant to you and your colleagues, then please hit the subscribe button and stick with me for a few minutes. And if you've got friends in the industry who are interested in this, then please tell them about it. And tell them about my other videos on my channel and the 400 free publications on my website. All the links are in the notes below. So, do you ever find that your team's thinking disappoints you? You've got all the right people in the room, they've got all the information they need, and they're clear about the problem that they have to solve. And yet the outcome can be disappointing. It's less than you'd expect from all of that collective brain power. So this seminar is about why good teams make poor decisions, which is something I've studied for almost 30 years now. So let's start with something you've seen in the movies. Two cops are interrogating a suspect. A hard cop is aggressive and threatening. A soft cop is supportive and reassuring. It's a fictional device, of course, but it's also a very good metaphor for how leaders set the emotional temperature in their teams. Time and time again, I've seen leaders demand results and bang heads together. But I've often seen others set out the problem and then simply put heads together. These two different approaches create the emotional temperature in the room. And that emotional temperature, pressured or relaxed, shapes how teams think and decide. Let me back that up with a bit of evolutionary science. You see, evolution gave human beings an amazing cognitive ability that other species just don't have. Anthropologists call it integrative complexity, or IC. It's our ability to hold multiple perspectives at once, and then understand their implications, and then weave those implications together into a richer, more accurate view of reality. The ability for integrative complexity helped our ancestors survive in these ancestral, complex, tribal environments. But it's just as relevant in the boardroom today as it was on the African savannah hundreds of thousands of years ago. And here's the important part. Integrative complexity, that ability, depends upon emotional temperature. The influence of emotional temperature on our cognitive abilities was discovered by some pretty clever science, and I don't have time to go into that today. But it's intuitively correct too. When we feel relaxed and safe, our IC capabilities switch on. We listen better. We integrate perspectives. We see the world more accurately. But when we feel pressured or threatened, IC switches off. We oversimplify. We caricature other viewpoints. We elevate differences over agreements, and our decisions get worse. When I facilitate the meetings of strategy teams, I notice that this bit of science has huge practical implications. If the leader allows the meeting to be too relaxed, the team waffles and dithers and avoids decisions. But if he applies too much pressure, the team makes quick, easy, wrong decisions. The best decisions happen when the leader creates the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. In other words, when the emotional temperature is high enough for the team to feel enough urgency to act, but enough safety to think clearly and to integrate perspectives. So if you're leading a team and you're trying to solve a difficult strategic problem, here's a good way to think about it. Every meeting has a thermostat, and your hand is on the thermostat. If you set the temperature too low, nothing happens and you've wasted time. If you set it too high, the team's evolved wisdom evaporates. But if you've set it just right, you get richer understanding, better integration, and wiser decisions. This might sound like common sense, but as Voltaire said, and as I'm sure you know, common sense is not so common. So here's the takeaway. If you lead a team that needs to pool their thinking to make better decisions, your first job is to manage the emotional temperature in the room. You have to set it high enough to require decisions, but not so high that people stop thinking. Because the quality of your team's decisions depends on the emotional temperature that you set. So if you'd like to know more about that and get a copy of the article I wrote about it, then please get in touch. Or my email and everything else are in the notes below.